Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard. Today we're going to be taking a look at a scope, and this one, a company called Oneleaf contacted me and said, hey, we want to send you this scope and let us know what you think about it. So it come all the way from China, which most stuff does anymore, especially if it's got electronics in it. Yes, there are electronics. Not in the scope itself, but it comes with this handy little device right here, and it comes in this box packaged up in the foam right here, and there's a few other accessories that go in there. Pretty good packaging on it. A couple different eye cups here. There's an adapter right here, so you can actually buy, this is a whole combo set, but you can buy just this piece right here, and it comes with an adapter so you can adapt it to your particular scope if you didn't want the whole thing. You really, I think the best deal is to get it together because it seems like a pretty good scope to me. I have been playing with it for, about a week or so, and it feels like a nice, solid, very well-made scope. And a lot of companies don't make their own scopes. There are a few companies that make them, and there are other companies that have them made by the bigger companies because all they got to do is send them the specs and say, this is what I want. They make it, they market it with their brand on it, and this is Oneleaf. And it's a pretty good scope. 56mm objective on it. It is a 3-to-12 with side focus, my favorite. It does have an illuminated reticle, so I guess I was wrong. There are electronics sort of in the scope itself, and it's got one of those little round coin-sized batteries, whatever. It does come with the mounts already on it. Comes with little flip-up lens covers. I like those, but the back one you're probably not going to need, especially if you use this piece right here. Also in the package, like I said, it comes with an adapter, an eyepiece. I'm not going to need either one of those, at least not the adapter. There is another eyepiece there. It comes with a roll of tape just in case the adapter doesn't fit your scope and you need to take up a little bit of space. I don't care for that too much, but that's one of the reasons why I say go ahead and get the whole setup because it's going to benefit you anyways. We'll get this foam stuff out of the way, and then right behind me I've got the Rossi RS22M. We're going to get this thing mounted on there, and let's take a closer look at the scope. Really, I am pretty impressed with the thing, and they're not paying me to say anything. They just sent it to me and said, tell us what you think. Okay, so here's the scope, a little closer look at it. Like I said, it already comes with the rings on it. Set up for Picatinny rail, Weaver rail, whichever one it is, but it should fit either one of them. And like I said, flip up lens covers on it, but the back one, you're not really going to want it used anyways, especially if you've got this piece right here. Now this is a camera, and it's not just a camera. It is a digital camera, and you can use it for daytime use or nighttime use. This is your eyepiece here, your ocular end of it, and this right here. And you can use this as just a handheld camera. And while playing around with this thing, I found that I'm going to be using it a little bit more in some of my videos because it is an excellent macro lens on this camera. All your controls are right here on the back of it. On the front of it, there is an IR illuminating light, and IR means, well, it's a night vision camera too. Right underneath the IR light is your battery, and it's one of the big rechargeable batteries. Now, it does not come with a charger, but what it does come with is, underneath this little flap here, it does come with a micro SD card that's already inside it, and it has a USB port on it, micro USB, and it also has a headphone jack on it because not only does it record video, it records audio too, so you can listen to what you're recording, or you can play back through here and watch it again. It is a camera that is adapted to fit onto this scope, or like I said, you can use a handheld too. Now, one of the things I did do is when I hooked the USB cable up here to top the battery off, make sure it was all charged, was you can use the camera through your computer or maybe your smartphone if you have the right cable to hook it up to it, and you can record through this camera. Your focus ring is on the bottom here. You have to turn it quite a bit to get the focus depending on what you're looking at, far away or close up. But like I said, I was playing around with this thing on my laptop, and it makes an excellent macro camera. And it films in, it takes photos in, I think it's 1280 by, it takes pretty good high resolution photos. Video is HD. Let me pause this for a minute and look up my stats. Okay, trying to commit all this stuff to memory is quite a bit, but it does come with a decent little manual, and I did look it up in here. In movie mode, it is able to film 30 frames per second. FHD at 30 frames per second, the video resolution is 1920 by 1080, and HD at 30 frames per second, the video resolution is 1280 by 720. So it's got decent resolution on it. I have done a couple little test videos with it, just kind of looking around the room and stuff, and put it on my laptop, and I did not have the focus adjusted right. It does not have autofocus, so you're going to have to manually focus it, and like I said, there's a wide range to focus that depending on the distance and your depth of field. So once you get it focused on something, it's pretty much going to stay right there. With the scope, it's going to be focusing on the image it sees close up. You don't have to vary it with the distance that you're shooting at. Of course, with it having side parallax on it, you're going to want to do that anyways, because you're going to want your parallax to be correct. You want your reticle to appear on your target, not a big distance away, so they move around like that. But anyways, it is a cool little camera. And like I said, it's got an IR illumination on it, so it is a night vision camera. Now, I did take this thing outside when I first got it and played around with it a little bit. And one of the things I thought was horrible on it was that the screen that you're looking at on the inside is extremely bright. Then, you know, of course, I operate it first, then look at the owner's manual. When all else fails, you can dim the screen in there so that you're not blinding yourself with it when you're outside at night. You don't need that bright of an image in the nighttime because the contrast is going to be there. But you can select the brightness of the monitor inside. I wish I could show you that, and I tried doing that where I could bring that up on the screen. There's a whole menu in there, and the buttons on the back. The manual explains it all. There's a lot of features with this thing, and it's not overly complicated, and the buttons are pretty simple on the back there too. You got OK, up and down, left and right, IR illumination, black and white for infrared stuff, night vision stuff, and color for daytime use, or black and white, or sepia, which kind of gets me, do I really need sepia tone on something like this? If I was doing some creative photography, sure, but in something like this, it's not necessary. It does have a Sony image processor in it, so it is good quality electronics that are in there. And everything on this thing feels solid. The little camera piece here feels solid. The lenses are nice and clear. They are, they got the multi-optic coating on them, both in the scope and in the little camera here. And I really think it's good quality gear, all of it. And like I said, the really cool thing about this is you don't need an adapter. This scope, this is the what do they call the scope? I thought it said it on there somewhere. I'm sure it does. The Rapid Fire Plus. I didn't tighten that down. The Rapid Fire Plus scope and the Night Vision Commander NV100. All you do is take and put that right on there and twist it, and it's a good tight fit, and it'll click right into place. To release it, you untwist it, but there's a little button here on the side. You push that, pull that back, and then you can undo it. But we're going to go ahead and get the scope set up on the rifle, and then we're going to take it out of the range and zero the scope, and then we'll do some filming through the camera. Okay, so I've got the Rossi RS22M set up here on the Tipton Ultra gun vise, and I've got my little Wheeler level kit out. So I want to get the rifle leveled up, and then we can get the scope on there and get it leveled up too. All right, so I've got the rifle leveled up, and these little the clamps on the bottom of the rings, I've already got them spaced out because, like I said, I've been playing with this thing already for a while, and I like it. Go ahead and get this mounted on here, and we'll get it snugged down just a little bit at first. It is going to come with a little baggie with some Allen wrenches in it, an O-ring, another little screw in there, and really you only need one Allen wrench for the scope mounting itself. The other Allen wrenches are for other features on the little camera piece there. Now I've got the camera set up on my laptop. I'm actually going to do some filming with it and show you some of the close-up stuff with it, because really I'm pretty impressed with it. The nighttime viewing range on this thing with the IR, the illuminator on, is about 328 yards. There is 6 levels of adjustable power built in the IR illuminator. It uses the Sony Starvis CMOS sensor with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. 1080p FHD video and audio recording function. Comes with a 32 gig SD card in the box, and it'll support up to 256 gigabyte SD card. Daytime color mode, night vision mode is in black and white, of course. It's got a pretty long eye relief. They say it's pretty long, 70 millimeters, which is like a almost 3 inches, 2.75 inches or somewhere around there. High shock resistance. It will withstand recoil up to .308 caliber. I'm only going to put it on a 22 Magnum here, so it should be just fine. Diopter is adjustable for your focus, for your eyes. The battery, the rechargeable battery that comes in the camera piece, is a Samsung original 18650 rechargeable battery. Those are the same ones that I believe power the Teslas and just about everything else on this planet. They are a mass-produced battery, so they're pretty popular. I know I got a little laser pointer somewhere that uses those. The scope itself, 56 millimeter objective. I like that, so you may need high rings. Now this one is sitting up pretty high off of the barrel on this. That's just because of the shape of the gun itself. If I have other rifles I could put it on, and would probably sit a little bit lower. They don't have that real high receiver like this. It feels really good. It feels like it's a nice quality scope. The illuminated reticle in there is adjustable for 11 levels of illumination. You think, why do you need that many of them? Well, if you're going to put the IR on here and use the illuminated reticle, you want that as dim, just about as dim as can be, because it's going to amplify that light, and you don't want to overpower your vision, what you're looking at, and through the night vision scope if you're out hunting coyotes or feral hogs or whatever at night. You don't want that illuminated reticle to be too bright, but you want to be able to see it. It's waterproof, shockproof, and fogproof. So it's a sealed tube that's in there. It should have O-rings in it. I noticed that the packet did come with 2 O-rings in there. I'm not exactly sure what they're for, but there are 2 O-rings in it anyways. So we'll get this thing snugged up. And you can use the Allen wrench to snug it, or you can use, I believe it's a 1/2 inch wrench to do it, but there are holes in the side of the nuts on there. And you can stick this little Allen wrench in there and give it a little snugging. Just gonna snug it a little bit with 1 ring right this moment, because we want to adjust our eye relief too. So now we'll pick it up, shoulder it, and just see if it feels like it's right, it looks like it's right, and my eye relief feels pretty good right there. Now, one of the things that you're going to want to watch is when you go to put the actual camera piece on there. That's going to change my eye relief now. Now, with this being 22 Magnum, I'm not too much worried about the recoil. It does have a nice soft eye cup on there, so recoil I'm not too worried about. And really, if I've got my eye right up against it, I can see the whole inside of the monitor inside there pretty easily, and it should give me the image I am after. Another nice thing about this camera is that even though the audio is it's not good studio quality audio. This is a tripod I've got for a cell phone or a regular camera, but it's got the 1/4 screw on it. And the nice thing about the little camera that comes with this is if you want to use it as just a standalone camera or night vision scope or whatever, just go out and look around. You hear a bump in the night out on the farm, you can just grab this thing and take a peek around. But you can also mount it with that 1/4 screw on the bottom on any tripod you want. Any standard camera tripod usually anyways. We're going to get this thing finished up because I really like playing with this thing quite a bit. It's fun. Okay, we're out here on the rifle range with the Rapid Fire Plus scope and the Commander NV100 night vision camera that mounts to it. What we're going to do first is I've got a target set up there at 50 yards, and we're going to go ahead and zero the scope. Now, it does have covered turrets on it, and they're a low profile turret. So these are, let's see, 1 click is an 1/8 MOA. So at 100 yards, 1 click would be an 1/8 of an inch. We're going to do this at 50 yards, so one click would be a 1/16 of an inch. It's half the distance, so it's half the travel, I guess, on the scope. Let's see, is that right? Yeah, that's right, 1/16 of an inch at 50 yards. So we're going to go ahead and get it zeroed in at 50 yards. And I'm going to be using CCI Maxi Mag Hollow Point 22 WMR, jacketed hollow point, 40 grain, 1875 feet per second. And like I said, we're just going to zero it in without the night vision part on it. Then we'll get that part of it set up and we'll do some recording through it. All right, let's get the mag put in this thing, get one charged up. And we'll give it a shot and see where it's at. It is slightly breezy out here today. All right, I do not see where that one hit, so I'm gonna go down there and look at the target, see if I can figure it out, whether it hit on the wood or whatever, and see what we got. Okay, so I went down there and looked at the target, and it appears that my elevation is about 1 inch high, but I'm about 9 inches to the right. So all we gotta do is, the R on there with the arrow pointing that direction means that that's the way you want to turn it to get your point of impact to go in that direction. The R to that way would move my point of impact to the right. I want to move it the opposite to the left. So what I can do is, it's a little hard to do by yourself sometimes. Sometimes if you can get somebody to help you or get something to lock your rifle down good and steady, this one will do okay. Is I'm going to put my crosshairs right back in the center, and I'm going to turn my turret until my crosshairs end up where my point of impact was. Essentially, you should be able to zero with really one shot. It doesn't always work that way though. And now I'm going to move my reticle back to the bullseye, get my earplugs back in, and we'll take another shot and see if I got it close. My windage is pretty much dead on. My elevation, I went too high. I am, now I'm 2 inches high, so I'm gonna bring it back down. And that should be it right there. We'll take another shot and see how it does. It does not get much better than that. I gotta show you anyways. Okay, so I didn't bring the tripod down here, but my first shot was right there on the wood. That's why I had to come down here to see, and I could tell by the back side of the target actually where there was fresh wood broken there. So I adjusted it over and up, and I shouldn't have gone that high up. I probably shouldn't have gone up at all, but that was my second shot, and there was my third shot. Only about, not quite a quarter, maybe about 3/16 off to the right. That could have very easily been me pulling it over. I just had to show that. I don't always shoot that well. Okay, so now we're going to put the Commander NV100 on there, and it's really nice because it's got a little bayonet style lugs on there, and all you got to do is rock it to the left just a little bit, push it in there and turn it, and like I said, it's a good solid fit. It is not wobbly, it is nice and sturdy, and then it's ready to go. To turn it on, just hold the power button on for, they call it a long push or a long whatever. Anyways, it goes through a little startup menu and everything, and there's a menu button on there, and there's all different kind of things you can do with this thing to get it exactly where it needs to be. And other than just playing around with it a little bit, I haven't done much in the line of, I haven't put it on the scope and taken it out and shot it yet, but that's what we're going to do right now. To record, you got the center button there, okay, you can push it, and it will start recording. It will record for the amount of time you set for it, from 1 minute to I think 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes is the maximum. You go through the menu and you set it up the way you want it. You can also have it start recording as soon as you turn it on. If you're sitting there waiting for something, instead of going through the menu, just turn it on, and then, you know, your target comes into view or whatever, and you're going to take the shot. You don't have to worry about it. It'll start recording right then. I'm just hunting paper right now, so it's not a big deal. So give me a couple minutes to get this thing set up and get everything adjusted to focus and everything, and then we'll show some shots through here. We're going to go ahead and record this and take a shot right there at the same target I shot at before and see how it does. And to record, all you got to do is, if you don't have it set up to record on boot, just hit record. In the upper left hand corner you'll see numbers up there, and they'll turn red when you're recording and then start counting to how long you're recording. So you're gonna have to monkey with your focuses here a little bit. I've got the ocular on here I needed to adjust. I got the ocular here, and then I've got my parallax adjustment. And actually right now my parallax says 50 yards, which is what I'm shooting at. And I think I've got everything into focus now, kind of. There we go, nice crisp images. Now I do notice a little bit of blurriness around the edge that I'm looking through the camera that I did not see when I was looking through the scope itself. So we should be ready for another shot right now. And let's go ahead and take it. Let's go ahead and take another one. Looks like I hit just to the left of the bullseye there. That one is about 3/4 of an inch low. About a 1/2 inch low. Let's go ahead and take a shot at one of those other targets. Maybe you'll be able to see a little bit better. The Rossi RS-22M is a pretty good shooting rifle. The scope without the camera on is really nice scope. The camera on there allows you to do a lot more. Like I said, it's a night vision scope too, so, and it allows me to record, which I might as well go ahead and stop. And I like the setup. There's been a lot of times when I wish I had a camera that I could put on my scope, and there's a bunch of different attachments you can get for different ones from different companies and everything. This one is actually pretty nice because, well, like I said, it's night vision for one thing, and for another, it fits the scope without any crazy adapters on it. Like I said, you can adapt it to your scope if you want to, but the best combination, I think, is the whole setup, the Night Vision Commander setup. Camera with the scope and everything, they're made for each other. The camera fits great on there. Everything is lined up really well, and if there's anything that's inaccurate down there, that's me, I promise you. But I kind of like it. The image is a little blurry around the camera. Now the only thing I need really is for it to be dark so we can come out here and show you some night vision stuff. You know what? It's like magic, huh? Okay, I've got the night vision scope. It is dark out here, so it's going to be a little hard to see me. I guess you can pick up a little bit of the light from the sky behind me. We're going to go ahead and get this thing turned on, so it's a long push to turn it on. The menu pops up. Okay, like one of the things I said you want to do was you want to make sure that the brightness on the monitor in here is turned way down, because it will blind you. You're looking at it, it's really bright, and then you try to look outside of it and you can't see anything because of the adjustment. So I'm going to go in the menu and turn the brightness down on it. Alright, I've got it set on 2, so it is really dim, and that's not too terrible on the eyes right there. Alright, what you're seeing right now is just the daylight mode, but let's turn it on IR. Oh, you gotta just hold it, and it'll go in black and white and be in IR. I don't know if you can see this on the screen, but in the upper right hand corner it says IR and it says 1. So that is the brightness level. All you gotta do is hit the button a couple more times. It goes up to 6 on the brightness. So you can see it's gotten really bright there on 3. This is still at the 50-yard target. Now this, you probably can't see it in here, but there's a little lens on the top there, the light, the IR illuminator, and you can tell that it gets brighter as you scope it out. It focuses the intensity of the IR light on your target. And this thing is good. It gets a little blurry there, so let's pull it back some so we're spreading the light out a little bit more. And I've got it on 3 power right now, so let's zoom it in a little closer on the target. Maybe I should turn that illuminator down, because when my hand blocks the IR light, you can see it gets too bright. So let's turn the IR down on it. Whoops, that was a laser. Put it back on 1, and you can see the laser is lit up. I did adjust it. When you adjust it for elevation and windage, you can see it in there, and it is very, very, very touchy. So let's turn the laser off, because we don't need that on. We got the IR brightness set at 1 at the 50-yard target, and I can't see what we're zoomed in at because it's dark out. So there it is, zoomed all the way in. And it looks a little blurry, a little grainy, and most of the night vision stuff I've seen is like that, but see if we can't get it focused a little bit better than that. Oh, and I think that's because I was looking at stuff farther away, like that deer that run by. She was up there at probably almost 200 yards. So let's adjust the, there we go. Yeah, that's a lot clearer right there. Now I am not going to take a shot with it right now because there's neighbors that are trying to sleep, and if there's a coyote, sure, but there's not right now, so we're not going to do it. I will pick it up and give you a shot, see if we can see the 100-yard targets up there. I'm zoomed in at 12 power right now. We're looking at the target at, that is a 115 yards away up there, so that's beyond my 100-yard target, obviously. And I mean, you can clearly make out what it is. So yeah, if you want to take this thing out coyote hunting, it'll do the trick. All right, I had to go put some bug spray on because the mosquitoes are getting pretty bad out here, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. I'm not gonna take a shot with it, and get out of here and get back in the house and take a closer look at it. Okay, so we are done on the range, and what do I think of it? I think I like it. It does a fine job in the daytime stuff. I haven't seen the footage yet on the computer. I've only seen it through the monitor on here, so by the time this is aired, I will have seen it, and hopefully it's as good as what I think it's going to be. It looks pretty good. The audio is not the greatest. Of course, I try to do best on the audio that I can. I wear a lavalier mic, or I have a shotgun mic that I put on the camera when I'm out there. But as far as does it work as a scope, the scope itself without the night vision module on there, the camera part, is great. It's really clear glass. It feels like it's very well made. It's nice, solid, heavy aluminum. It might be a little heavy for some people, but I like it. With the camera on there, like I said, it's an excellent macro camera, so I will be using it for some other things, just because I'm really pretty fond of it, and it's got that 1/4-20 screw mount on the bottom there, so I can put it on a tripod, bring it over here, maybe do some close-up stuff on the leather, or when I'm doing a cleaning on a gun or something like that. It should work out great for it. The night vision part of it works great. Here's the little piece I was telling you about. You can push that in or pull that out, and there's probably an infrared LED inside there, and that big glass lens on there allows it to focus, narrows it down, and when you put it on 6 power and really focus that beam, that 115-yard target out there showed up great. Although it's a little grainy, and everything you see in night vision is going to be somewhat grainy. That's just the nature of the beast at this time. Hopefully in the future they'll be able to make it just as clear as it is in a daytime picture, but I really like it. Now I'm going to put a link in the description below, and to the website where you can pick one of these up at. They are available on Amazon too. They're gonna run you somewhere around 500 bucks. So I mean, it's not the cheapest, but it's not terrible. You can buy just the module itself and put it on your own scope if you want to. I don't recommend that just because it fits so well on this scope. There's no jostling it around. You don't have to worry about it moving or anything. Now, if your adapter fits your scope, great. If it doesn't, you put the tape on it. I'm not really a big fan of that. But other than that, I like it. It works great. It does what it's supposed to do. You can use it handheld. You can use it on the scope. You can use it for a lot of other things. And I like the versatility of it, I guess. Anyways, check out the Oneleaf with the rapid fire scope and the Commander Night Vision 100 camera module. And thanks for watching Small Caliber Arms Review. If you could, hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos, and hit this button down here somewhere to subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks for watching this kind of long video.